You know, once you've already crossed over the line and you're no longer going to hold by the rules, and the only rules, there is no rules at that point. It's a anarchy. It's ruleless. So then you can have, you know, women rabbis, and you can have same-sex marriage, and you can do bogus conversions. And you know, you can even have a marriage between a Jew and a Gentile, and bring in the minister. And
what did you think?
We'll talk about that later. You want to talk about that now?
You
want to go straight into that?
Yeah. What did you think about that?
Oh my God!
We're talking about the rabbi co-officiated
Go ahead,
Hillary Clinton's daughter's. I've forgotten even the daughter's name.
Chelsea.
Chelsea Clinton. She's a shiksa, and she married a Jew. And so they had a minister, I believe, and a rabbi co-officiate. So have you co-officiated any weddings with Protestant ministers or Catholic clergy?
No.
Not recently, anyway.
No, I would remember that. This has got to be an embarrassment for every Jew living worldwide. This is a huge embarrassment. But you know what? I have a friend. First of all, there's so many points to this that have to be addressed, right?
Yeah.
The guy who performed this quote-unquote wedding is, of course, a Reform rabbi.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, we were talking about Reform last week, and I said, you know, like they don't even believe in God. And this is proof for that, because I'm going to explain to you in a second about this. I'm going to get into, can I get into this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
They don't believe in God. It's a different God. It's a different God. We're going to get into that, because you're going to say, oh, they do purport to hold by God. I watched that video where you said that, then you apologized. You sat in that chair and you apologized for the Reform. I watched that, I go, but he doesn't understand. What they say and what they do is two different things. Because they don't believe in the God they gave the Torah. They believe in a different God. The God that they believe in is the God of liberalism. It's the God of secularism. And their concept of religion is not Judaism. It's secularism. It's liberalism. And what they believe in is like, oh, it's okay to have like your own personal beliefs or whatever, but let's just all get along. You know, let's just all get along with our neighbor. You know, and it's like, you know, the most important thing in their religion is everyone should just get along. Never take a position and stand up against other people and the way they do things, because like it's all good, it's all okay. And that's what they follow. Now, what's interesting is, and I don't know that much about Christianity, but I have a friend. I have a friend who's a very devout Christian. I was having a conversation with him this last week. And he pointed out to me that there's movements within the Christians, within Christianity, there's movements that reflect, that there are almost a one-for-one, a mirror image of Reform in Judaism. And it's like the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
You know about this.
Go ahead.
You can probably speak to this better than I can, but if you feel like you want to jump in, jump in.
Yeah, go.
Is Methodist a part of the Anglican...
No, but what they have in common is they're both like Reform Christianity.
The Reformed Christianity. But they're not necessarily from the same...
they're not the same denomination.
No, not denomination.
So just like Reform and Conservative,
a different word I want. A different stream.
They're both Protestant. They're both Protestant.
But are they from the Church of England stream?
Well, the Anglican is the Church of England. They just call it Anglican. Methodist developed out of it. It was
Thank you. That's what I want to get to.
Out of it in like the 17th or 18th century.
That's what I want to get into.
It was more working class and was more evangelical.
Right. But it's part of the Church of England.
It's not part of Church England, but it grew out
stream,
of it.
It's stream. Just like Episcopalians came out of the American Episcopalian.
Yeah.
Methodist is a very watered down. You know, here I am going to now this week I'm going to offend Methodists.
Right.
I'm going to offend Methodists. Methodist is a watered down version of Christianity, and the reason why it's important to talk about, just like Episcopalians are a watered down version of Christianity. And why am I attacking Christians, for Christ's sake? Right? Why am I going after them? Because they are the Reform Judaism version of Christianity.
Yes.
You can walk. There's no, once you say like the rules, like it's like we can find room for everything. You know, it's like we're not going to turn anybody away. You're going to allow same-sex marriage. You're going to have lesbian rabbis. You're going to have gay, the gay rabbi, the lesbian rabbi. They're going to have same-sex marriage rabbis. It won't. And I was joking with him last week. I said it won't be long before a lesbian Reform rabbi marries a lesbian Anglican Episcopalian woman minister.
Woman priest.
Yeah, it won't be long because the
Yeah.
truth of the matter is, here's the point. The religion that they follow is really the same. Methodists, Episcopalians, and Reformed Jews, and
And
conservative is really
right
diving
in
into that pit
yeah,
at a very fast rate of
yeah,
speed.
Yeah.
It's everyone who's not from the
Yeah.
secularists are all in one religion, and it's called liberalism, and
Yeah.
that's their god.
Yeah.
And their religion is basically anything goes. You know, you can do anything you want and get along with everybody else, and you know
Yeah.
it's all good. And so, in that respect, when Chelsea Clinton, who's a Methodist, right,
Yeah.
who claims to be a Methodist, you know, or whatever, right, wants to marry this boy who's a Jew. This man, he's a man. He's like 30 now. And I remember when they were dating. But okay, but you know, she marries this Jew, right? And they have one of each. They have the Methodist and the Reform rabbi. They're just two arbiters of the same religion.
Yeah.
Because they blended the two religions. There's no difference between Reform Judaism and Methodist Christians. You can't tell me. There's no rule that can't be broken for the other one. If you go to a Methodist, can you try to tell me a single rule that isn't going across, that can't be broken?
Well, I'm sure that Jesus is always going to be more important in Christianity than in Reform and Conservative Judaism. And faith in Jesus and loving Jesus and the Trinity, perhaps, not all.
Yeah, you know that's the one. I agree with you on that. This is like another blow mind. This is a whole other conversation. But maybe somebody can answer this for me because I don't get it. And I was telling my friend about this too because he's a Christian. I mean, he's a really devout Christian. I said, here's the one thing I don't get. Secularist Jews have trashed everything. Everything goes out the window. You know, you can have atheism, you don't have to believe in God, that's fine, you know, and then you can have gay marriage, and then the homosexual act is fine, you know, and you don't have to keep Shabbos, and you can intermarry, and like there's no respect anymore for conversion. They didn't even bother to get a conversion with Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah.
She didn't get a bogus conversion.
Yeah.
They didn't even bother.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's nothing that in Torah that has to be respected. But for some bizarre reason that blows my mind, they won't. They have a aversion. What's the word? Repulsion. They're allergic to any mention of Jesus. I would think that if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in a single word of the Torah, none of it is true to you, and you feel like you're forced to be in a situation where you have to go pray. You have to be in a public setting and you have to go pray.
Yeah.
What difference does it make what room you're in where you're praying to something you don't believe in? You know, you've already intermarried, which is the ultimate, I'm done with being Jewish.
Right.
You know, you're already have nothing to do with Judaism. You don't believe in God. So what difference does it make what room you're in? I would think a Jew is just as comfortable in a church, right?
Well, some Jews are.
Okay, they might be. But I would think that the average liberal Jew would be just as comfortable in a church as they would be in a temple. But for some bizarre reason, I have seen a trend, a big trend. I don't know if it's the majority, but a lot of liberal, secular Jews are repulsed by Christianity.
I can answer that.
Okay, go ahead.
People who are rooted in their own tradition are at peace with other people being rooted in their traditions. And people who are rootless, who are not attached to a tradition, they are uncomfortable with other people who are attached to their traditions. So a Jew who's rooted in the Jewish tradition, he is cool with Christians being rooted in the Christian tradition. He's cool with Baha'i being rooted in the Baha'i tradition. He's cool with Italians being rooted in traditional Italian ways and Roman Catholicism, etc. A Jew who hates the Jewish tradition will tend to hate the Christian tradition, tend to hate the Italian tradition, will tend to hate the Muslim tradition. Well, Muslim, they might give them extra breaks. But
yeah, I know.
Generally speaking, people who are secure in their